everybody, Whitney Austin here. This is beautiful Kentucky behind me, one of our beautiful Kentucky lakes, and I'm on vacation with my family, but got out of the lake, checked my text messages, and received the text message that I have been waiting for the last 2 weeks. So what have I been waiting for? I have been messaging to all of you that your voices matter and that a bipartisan deal was in the works. It was announced today. I'm overjoyed. I think I'm still just a little bit in shock that this could happen. We spend so much energy and effort promoting bipartisan action through Whitney Strong, and so this was really a dream for this to happen. Now, it's just an announcement. 10 Republican senators and 10 Democratic senators came together today to announce that they have found a framework that they can agree upon for reducing gun violence and keeping our American citizens safe. But it's just an announcement. So the bill has not yet been written. That's the next step. Once the bill has been written, then it will need to move to the Senate for a vote. If it passes from the Senate, and certainly they believe there's a good chance for that, or they wouldn't have made that announcement today. Not to mention getting the 10 Republicans and 10 Democrats should help get us over that filibuster. Then it'll need to go over to the House. They'll do the same thing. They'll hopefully pass it knowing how monumental this moment is, that everybody came together, and then it'll go from the House over to the president to be signed into law. So we still have a lot of work in front of us, but I know sometimes I'm guilty of not stopping to celebrate the big wins, and this is a really big win, decades in the making. So thank you to this bipartisan team of senators, and also thank you to all of our Whitney Strong supporters for sending your emails of support and also your phone calls of support. So thank you. You made a big difference in all of this. So on that note, I want to tell you what they announced would be included within this bill, and then also remind you that you still have work to do. We're not done. We're not done until the bill is signed. So what's included? There are a number of things included. I'm sure some of you will say it's not enough, and some of you will say it's too much, but here we are as constituents putting our trust and faith in this team of bipartisan senators. So first off, a lot of support for mental health. This is important for a whole host of reasons, not just gun violence. So putting dollars into our community-based health centers across America, but also putting dollars into our school systems. On top of that, they're going to provide funding into states that have red flag laws. If you follow Whitney Strong, you know that we have our own bipartisan team in Kentucky working on a risk warrant law, which is really like our custom version of a red flag law, which is perfect for Kentucky. So they will provide dollars to states that have those laws so that they can execute them effectively. It's not enough to have these laws. People need to be educated on how to use them and to have the dollars necessary to do it in the right way. They're also doing things to expand background checks, maybe not in the way that many of you have been educated, but for example, much of what we've seen with mass violence recently is that these acts are committed by individuals less than the age of 21. So making sure that with background checks, they go back and they look at juvenile records to see if there's anything in there that would lead us to say this person's prohibited. They should not be able to purchase a firearm when they're under the age of 21 based upon what they did before they were 18. And then also making sure that if someone is consistently selling firearms but is not registered as a federally firearm licensed dealer, an FFL, that they would be. Because if you're not registered as an FFL and you're selling lots of guns, that means you don't have to run background checks, and that's just unacceptable. So closing that loophole. Also closing the loophole that addresses individuals that should be prohibited from buying a firearm because of acts of domestic violence, but being excluded because they're boyfriends. So closing the boyfriend loophole. And then I think the only other one that I've missed is putting a lot of dollars into our schools to make sure that they have good safety protocols and procedures to keep our kids safe. So threat assessment training, anonymous hotlines, so that concerns and threats can be addressed, etc. So I'm elated. This is really, really a good set of policies and are important for America. And more than anything, I talk about the crack in that dam and it continuing to get bigger in Washington. And the bigger it gets, the more policies that we will see that are rooted in evidence that can help reduce gun violence across the country. So I hope you'll take a minute and be excited about this with me and then pivot into, okay, what can I do? How can I help with this work? So we've included in an email to you all the information necessary to contact the 20 senators that were involved with the deal. I mean, it's really just about thanking them. Thank you so much for having the courage to come together in this very public way to help reduce gun deaths. And then the second thing you can do is, if you have a senator that's not included in the 20, guess what? We need them to get on board. We need them to vote yes. So your calls and your emails into them are important as well. And we will also included in this email is also a form so that you can on your own send an email through Whitney Strong and to your U.S. Senator asking them to get on board with the bipartisan deal. So I think that's enough for now. I'm going to rejoin my family and enjoy time at the lake, but please be excited. We are crossing the threshold of change together, and I know I am. So thank you very much for all that you have done to get us here to this moment, and we will keep going, and we will make a real difference in the number of gun deaths in our country. Thank you.